Where the hell am I?
Virginia!
My name is John Carter. I'm from Virginia.
Did I not tell you he could jump?
You are John Carter of Earth?
Yes, ma'am.
Fate has brought you here, John Carter.
What happened to this place?
A new power threatens to destroy our city.
That don't look like a fair fight. Run, go! Go! We did not cause this. But this very night, we will end it! I was too late once. I won't be again.
Thanks to this upcoming Disney movie, this is how most people will know John Carter. And I hope it's good. I hope it's not just all great white apes and fighting, and that they're true to Edgar Rice Burroughs. Because that's how myself and thousands of other people actually learned about John Carter of Mars. Edgar Rice Burroughs was born in 1875, and he'd already enjoyed a diverse career when he decided, at the ripe old age of 37, to write and submit a work of fiction. He called it Under the Moons of Mars, and he thought it was so fantastic that he submitted it under the pen name Normal Bean, which the editor then changed to Norman Bean. The story was accepted and serialized in the February through July 1912 editions of the All Story magazine, making the year 2012 the centennial of John Carter's first appearance. Tarzan of the Apes made its appearance in All Story in October 1912, and with its two main characters firmly in tow, the legend of ERB was launched. Many more worlds and heroes would follow John Carter and Tarzan, including David Inez, Abner Perry, Mahars, and Sagas in the world of Pellucidar and At the Earth's Core, The Land That Time Forgot series, The Moon Maid, and others. He wrote outside of the science fiction and Tarzan genres with westerns such as The War Chief, the underrated book The Mucker, which was the transformational story of the adventures of the hoodlum Billy Byrne, The Girl from Hollywood, and others, about 70 novels in all in his career. At the end of his career, Burroughs lived on Oahu in the Hawaiian Islands and was there for the bombing of Pearl Harbor. He enlisted as the oldest war correspondent in the Pacific Theater, and his writings during that period can be found at erbzine.com. Burroughs died in 1950. Of all the worlds he created, and of all the stories he told, the world of Barsoom and John Carter were Burroughs' tales of the highest quality. The story Under the Moons of Mars was retitled as A Princess of Mars, and the two novels following it, Gods of Mars and Warlord of Mars, form the story arc of John Carter and Dejah Thoris, of large green tharks, of false religions, and many, many colored races. The world of Barsoom was so well thought out that it has spawned research, including maps comparing the real Mars to Barsoom, dissections of its culture and its religions. John Carter himself was a Southern gentleman of the Confederate Army, a warrior with honor, who could have looked like any of these gentlemen in these daguerreotypes from the Civil War. He finds himself fitting hand-to-glove with the culture of Barsoom, or at least with most of the inhabitants, because there always has to be enemies, and his sense of right and wrong has him fighting against nations and uniting the world of Barsoom. The smaller size of Mars means less gravity than Earth, and Burroughs gives John Carter full advantage of this in his fighting and athletic prowess. Where ERB required other scientific constructs, he did what any good science fiction writer would do. He made it up. Hence the extremely cool 8th and 9th rays, the 8th harnessed for propulsion of ships, and the 9th used to provide atmosphere on Barsoom. He also had John Carter gain some of the Barsoomian talents, most notably their telepathy, useful for controlling animals. After the initial trilogy, the remaining books in the Barsoom series feature a wide cast of characters. The fourth, THUVIA, Maid of Mars, features Carthoris, son of John Carter and Dejah Thoris, pursuing his own romances and adventures. Next up is the CHESSMEN of Mars, which brings in Tara, Carthoris' younger sister, and also introduces the chess-like game of Jatan played with real people. The Mastermind of Mars brings in Ulysses Paxton, unrelated to the ruling family, and projected to Mars in the same way John Carter was. He encounters the Mastermind, who is experimenting on moving his brain to younger subjects to prolong his life. Book 7 in the series, A Fighting Man of Mars, centers on a Barsoomian, Tanhadron. Swords of Mars, which is Book 8, features John Carter once again, tracking a group of assassins. The Synthetic Men of Mars features Return of the Mastermind from an earlier book. And Book 10 returns to the John Carter family tree, with granddaughter Lana finding her own romance and adventure. Finally, the book John Carter of Mars is actually 2 stories. John Carter and the Giant of Mars, which was fraught with questions about its authenticity and was written as a big little book, and the story Skeleton Men of Jupiter, where John Carter actually leaves Barsoom for a bit. For further information on John Carter and Barsoom, I recommend the following resources. Bill and Sue Hillman's erbzine.com has articles on every possible research topic and angle of Barsoom, and all of Burroughs' worlds and creations. The John Carter Files not only has background on the novels in Barsoom, but follows the movie's production and hopefully its resounding success. Richard Lupoff's book, Edgar Rice Burroughs' Master of Adventure, goes in-depth on each of the novels in his career. And my original John Carter primer can be found at